Watch this. That right there is a DJI Mini 5 Pro using advanced return to home, flying through not one but two building entrances, completely on its own, without me touching a single stick. And honestly, every single time I see it do that, I still can't quite believe it works. Now here is where things get interesting, because today I came to this exact same location with the DJI Neo 2. Same building, same settings, same satellite count, and I fully expected it to pull off the same trick. It didn't. In fact, it tried to land on the roof twice, and I had to grab control before it became an expensive mess up there. So today's video is a deep dive into why that happened, what the actual difference is between these two drones when it comes to advanced return to home, and what you absolutely need to check in your settings before you ever try this yourself. Stick around, because later in this video, I'm also going to answer a question a few of you left in the comments. Does flying in Cine mode make the return to home any smoother or more precise? We test it live. The answer might actually surprise you. Let's go. Why advanced return to home actually matters. Okay, so before we start throwing drones into buildings, let me take 60 seconds to explain exactly what advanced return to home is and why it is genuinely one of the most impressive features on modern consumer drones, because a lot of people don't fully appreciate what's happening under the hood. Standard return to home is what most of us are used to. You press the button, the drone climbs to a preset altitude, flies in a straight line back to you, and lands. Simple, useful, but not exactly smart. If there's a building, a tree, or a pylon between the drone and your home point, that's your problem, not the drone's. Advanced return to home is completely different. The drone uses its onboard obstacle avoidance sensors, combined with GPS positioning and the flight path data it recorded on the way out, to actually navigate back to you. It remembers where it came from, and it retraces that route. So if it flew through a doorway on the way out, it can, in theory, fly back through that same doorway on the way home. Now here is the absolutely critical piece of this puzzle, and I cannot stress this enough. Satellites. You need a strong, reliable GPS lock for this to work. The drone isn't just navigating by its cameras alone. It is cross-referencing its position in real time using satellite data. Drop below a reliable satellite count, lose that lock for even a few seconds in a tricky location, and the whole system falls apart. Which, as we're about to find out, is exactly what happens with the Neo 2 here. That is why I always check my satellite count before even thinking about attempting this. And that brings me to the tool I use every single time I fly. Pre-flight setup and tools. The app I use for pre-flight weather and satellite checks is called AirData UAV, and I want to be really clear, this is not sponsored. I just genuinely think it's one of the most useful free tools in any drone pilot's kit. What I love about it is that, unlike a lot of apps that are Android only, AirData UAV works on both iOS and Android. It's free, and it gives you a solid forecast for the current day, the next half day, and the following day. Temperature, wind speed, visibility, but more importantly for today, it tells you your expected satellite count. This morning, it was showing 19 satellites available in my area. That sounds great, but here's the reality on the ground. We've had a rough week of weather here in Spain. Rain, red Saharan sand in the atmosphere, gusty winds. The actual usable satellite count at this location was bouncing around all over the place, dropping as low as 10 before climbing back up. And as I said, for advanced return to home, that inconsistency is a real problem. Now, let's talk settings, because if you try to do this without the right configuration, you'll be scratching your head wondering why nothing works. Here's exactly what you need in your DJI Fly app. First, go to Safety Settings and make sure Obstacle Avoidance is set to Bypass. Not Stop, not Off, Bypass. Then scroll down and switch the flight mode to Nifty Mode. This is the mode that enables the drone to actually maneuver around obstacles during return to home, rather than just hovering and giving up. Finally, and this is one people miss, go into the Advanced Return to Home height settings and make sure it's set to Optional. That lets the drone decide the best altitude to return at, which is crucial when you're navigating through a structure. Neo 2 fails, and here's exactly why. Alright, test 1. The DJI Neo 2 RC2 controller. All settings configured exactly as I described. I'm standing at the back of the building. The drone is hovering outside. Satellite count on takeoff, 13. That's okay. Not brilliant, but not disqualifying. I'm watching the count as I move it into position, and it's wobbling. 10, 12, 13, back to 10. Yellow GPS indicator on screen, which means the lock isn't solid enough for precise positioning. I take it up, move it out a bit further to give it room. home and hopefully pull in more satellites. By the time I'm at about 86 feet and a good distance out from the building, I've got 17 satellites. That's better. That's workable. I initiate return to home. Fingers crossed, and I'm watching the live feed. And it starts coming back, which is promising. But here's where it goes wrong. Instead of dropping down and approaching through the building entrance at the correct height, which is what the Mini 5 Pro does perfectly, the Neo 2 maintains a higher altitude and tries to clear the building from above. It heads straight toward the roof. It was about to land up there, and I mean land, not just hover over it. I canceled the return to home with about 2 seconds to spare. Second attempt, I landed it, powered off, gave it a minute, powered back on. This time I got the home point confirmation at 14 satellites. I flew it out again, built up to 28 satellites. Genuinely impressive satellite count at that point. Hit return to home again. Same result. Roof approach. Different trajectory, but same fundamental mistake. The drone simply was not using the stored flight path data to navigate back through the entrance. It was defaulting to a more basic GPS return logic. Straight line, high altitude, land from above. And I think I understand exactly why. The satellite count, even when it peaked at 28, had been inconsistent right from the moment I powered on. The drone's internal log of the outbound flight path, the breadcrumb trail it uses for advanced RTH, was almost certainly incomplete or unreliable because of those early gaps in GPS accuracy. So when it came time to use that data, there wasn't enough solid position data to reconstruct the route properly. The Neo 2 didn't fail because it's a bad drone. It failed because advanced return to home has a fundamental requirement: consistent, reliable GPS from the moment of takeoff. And at this location, in these conditions, the Neo 2 could not deliver that. Test 2. Mini 5 Pro nails. It okay. Drone swap. Mini 5 Pro out. And honestly, one of the things I love about this drone is how effortlessly it boots up. You unfold the props and the app is already connecting. It just gets on with the job. Now watch these numbers. Within 60 seconds of powering on, I'm already at 15 satellites. By the time I'm ready to take off, I'm at 16 and climbing. Home point updated. The GPS indicator has gone from yellow to white. Solid lock, no flickering. That difference right there is everything. Same settings as the Neo 2, bypass, Nifty Mode, optional height. I take off, move it out to roughly the same position, same altitude. By the time I initiate return to home, I've got a consistent 17 satellites with a rock-solid lock. The app confirms the home point is set. I press the button, and honestly, every time I watch this back, it still gives me a little buzz. The Mini 5 Pro drops to the correct entry height, approaches the first building entrance on a smooth, controlled line, passes through cleanly, continues to the second main entrance, passes through that too, and lands almost exactly on the spot. It even rotates to face me on landing. The whole thing looks like something from a sci-fi movie, except it's completely real, and you can do it yourself. The key difference? When I powered on the Mini 5 Pro, it got to a reliable satellite lock quickly and maintained it. That meant the outbound flight path was recorded accurately from the very first second. When the drone reversed that path on return to home, it had clean, solid data to work with. The breadcrumb trail was intact, and the drone trusted it. I also want to call out something subtle but important. The Mini 5 Pro's obstacle avoidance in Nifty Mode is genuinely more refined in enclosed spaces. It didn't just retrace a GPS line, you could see it actively sensing the door frames and adjusting its position slightly on the way through. That level of real-time sensor fusion is what separates a truly capable drone from one that's still developing. Does Cine Mode change anything? Right. Before we wrap up, I promised at the start of this video that I'd answer a question from the comments, and here it is. One of you asked whether putting the drone into Cine Mode before initiating return to home would make any practical difference to how it navigates. Specifically, would the slower speed make it easier and more precise as it comes through a tight space? Honestly, my gut said no. My assumption was that once you hit return to home, the drone overrides whatever flight mode you're in and just does what it needs to do. But assumptions are exactly the kind of thing that gets drone pilots in trouble. So let's actually find out. I set up the Mini 5 Pro again. First run, normal mode, drone at 70 feet, good satellite lock, return to home initiated. I clocked the approach speed at roughly 10 miles per hour once it descended to the level of the building entrance. Smooth, controlled, clean. Second run, exactly the same setup, but this time I switched into Cine Mode before hitting return to home. And there is a difference. At the same 70-foot comparison point, I measured the approach speed at approximately at 3.7 miles per hour. That is genuinely significantly slower, less than half the speed of the normal mode run. Now, does that slower speed make it navigate better through a tight entrance? In this particular test, the Mini 5 Pro performed well in both modes, so I cannot say that Cine mode made it more accurate. The precision of the navigation is determined by your GPS quality and your flight path data, not by your speed. However, and this is worth thinking about, if you're attempting advanced return to home through a really tight space for the first time, having that slower approach speed gives you more reaction time as the pilot to take manual control if anything goes wrong. That, to me, is a legitimate reason to consider flying in Cine mode before initiating a test like this. One interesting side note on this, I actually ran the question past an AI assistant to double-check the theory and got two different answers from two different queries. One said Cine mode is overridden by RTH. One said the speed reduction carries through. The real-world test is the only thing I actually trust, and the real-world test says, yes, Cine mode does slow down the return. Make of that what you will. What you should do all right. Let's bring this home. Pun absolutely intended. Here is my honest, no-nonsense verdict after all of today's testing. DJI Neo 2 and advanced return to home in Nifty mode, at least in GPS-challenging environments like this building, does not work reliably. And the reason is not the drone's fault in the sense that it's broken or badly designed. The reason is that the Neo 2 struggles to maintain a consistent, high-quality GPS lock in locations where satellite signals are partially obstructed. And without that solid, continuous lock from the moment of takeoff, the outbound flight path data is incomplete. Advanced RTH cannot function properly without a complete breadcrumb trail. So, if you are a Neo 2 owner and you were hoping to pull off this kind of trick flight, I'm sorry, but based on every test I've done across multiple locations over the past month, it is just not something this drone can reliably do right now. DJI Mini 5 Pro, on the other hand, absolutely nails it. Consistent GPS lock, fast satellite acquisition, and a genuinely refined obstacle avoidance system in Nifty mode. If advanced return to home through complex environments is something you care about, the Mini 5 Pro is the drone to have. Now here's what I want you to take away from today, regardless of which drone you fly. Before you attempt any kind of advanced return to home in a challenging location, check your satellite count and watch it for stability, not just peak numbers. A drone that bounces between 10 and 28 satellites in the first 2 minutes is not ready for this. You want steady rising numbers from the moment of power on. Give it time, let it settle, then fly. Use the AirData UAV app. It's free. It works on both iOS and Android, and the satellite forecast feature alone makes it worth having on your phone. It will save you a wasted trip on days when the conditions simply aren't right. If you do want to attempt this with a Mini 5 Pro, the settings are obstacle avoidance on bypass, flight mode on Nifty, advanced RTH height on optional. That is the exact configuration that produced the clean result you saw today. Don't change those unless you know exactly what you're doing. Finally, Cine mode before return to home. Not essential for accuracy, but worth considering for safety on your first few attempts. 3.7 miles per hour is a lot more forgiving than 10 if something unexpected happens and you need to intervene. That is a wrap on today's video, and what a test it turned out to be. Not the result I was hoping for with the Neo 2, but honestly, one of the most informative videos I've made in a while. Real results, real conditions, no cherry picking. That's what this channel is about. If you got value from this today, the single best thing you can do is drop a like on the video. It makes an enormous difference to how many people this reaches, and it genuinely means a lot. If you're new here and you want more real-world drone content with honest tests and zero sponsored fluff, hit subscribe. There's a lot more coming very soon, and I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you tried advanced return to home on your Neo 2 at a different location? Did you get a different result? Drop your satellite count and your location type, indoor, near buildings, open field, and let's see if we can build a proper picture of what conditions this actually works in. Every comment helps. Take care of yourselves, fly safe, and I will see you in the next one. Neo and Mini 5 Pro playback price gap is enormous. The Neo 2 starts at approximately $199 versus approximately $759 for the Mini 5 Pro, nearly 4 times the price. That gap buys you a substantially larger sensor, dramatically longer flight time, far superior GPS, L1/L5 dual band versus standard GPS/GLONASS, and the advanced obstacle sensing that makes features like nighttime RTH actually work. work. The sensor jump is the biggest real-world difference. The Mini 5 Pro upgrades to a 1-inch CMOS sensor with 50 megapixels, capturing more detail and performing better in low light than smaller sensors. The Neo 2's 1/2-inch sensor is perfectly capable for social content, but it cannot match the Mini 5 Pro in dynamic range, low light, or post-production flexibility. GPS reliability explains the advanced RTH gap, supporting L1 and L5 dual-band GNSS. The Mini 5 Pro can connect to more satellites to achieve stable and precise positioning. If that signal is lost, and the Mini 5 Pro has sufficient light, the drone can use its non-GNSS RTH mode to use real-time vision positioning and map construction to memorize flight routes for a safe return. The Neo 2 has no equivalent non-GNSS RTH capability. The Neo 2's FPV mode is a genuine unique strength. It's the one area the Mini 5 Pro simply cannot compete, since it's not designed for FPV flying at all.